Marine Corps Bootcamp is way easier than it looks online. Honestly, being in it will feel like some of the worst parts of your life, but the pure fact of it is you're just not used to it yet. I remember when I would watch like the YouTube videos of Marine Corps Bootcamp, especially when I finally enlisted, I was like, dude, this looks like some hard stuff. This looks like some intense movie stuff. Like, I don't know, the videos I was watching personally looked really intense. And then I got to boot camp, and honestly, what I felt in boot camp was just intense isolation. So that was my biggest challenge. Everybody will have like a different like challenge. Some of them it was physical, some of them it was mental. For me, it was just isolation. Like, I was 21, 22 when I went into boot camp, and everybody was 16, like 17 and 18. So I felt very separated. And my reasons for joining were very different than the other people's reasons for joining. So I just felt extremely isolated in boot camp. But honestly, after 2 to 3 weeks in boot camp, which is probably the worst parts of boot camp, I swear to you, some of the worst parts in boot camp is just the first 2 to 3 weeks, because you're alone, you're in an uncomfortable state, you're somewhere where you never thought you would be, because you're gonna have that first night of sleep, you're gonna be like, dang, I messed up. Like, you're gonna have that. And you're gonna be like screamed at, you're gonna be away from your family. That was like a big one. But after 2 to 3 weeks, you're gonna start to make friends, and you're gonna start to get into the groove of things. You're gonna start to like get used to the schedule and get used to waking up at that time every day. And you'll start to kind of like pick up the pattern of what to do. You're gonna be like, all right, cool, we're drilling all day today, we're doing this all day today, I just need to keep this and this in line, and then I'm gonna be good. So basically, all you need to do is get your mental right. There are gonna be tips in this video on what to do for PT and like what to do physically, but my biggest like thing that I missed in boot camp was the mental training. I was not prepared to stay away from my family with absolute no contact. I didn't even think about that part until I got to boot camp, and I was like, dang, bro, I haven't spoken to my mom in like 2 weeks. I haven't spoken to my family, my friends in 2 weeks. And then you start thinking about them a lot. You're going to start to get a lot of FOMO too. But basically, all you need to do in boot camp is just focus on screaming loud, moving fast, and you will be fine. Like, you will end up fine. The hardest part for me was just the isolation, and honestly, like, holding in my poop. Like, you're gonna, you barely get bathroom breaks, even though they allow you the bathroom breaks. They're gonna be like you're gonna be like in the squad bay doing some fuck shit, and you're gonna be like, asking to go to the bathroom, and they're gonna say yes because they have to. Like, that's the weird part, they have to. But you're gonna have like 1 minute, and you can't poop in 1 minute. So I just held in my poop until after lights out, pretty much every day. But one thing that definitely helped me in the Marine Corps was being a good runner. I used to run like every damn day before the Marine Corps because I thought I was gonna do that a lot. But the PT was kind of like underwhelming. I'll get to that in a second. But most of boot camp does involve like a good amount of running, because you're walking here, you're hiking there, you're running here, running there. So if you're a good runner and you can train your cardiovascular system, you can train your heart, you will be just fine. Like, I was like 4th in the company, and I wasn't even like we had like D1 athletes there. We had people that were like super fit, but they just didn't run. And I was just a decently fit kid that just ran, and I became like 4th most fit in the company. So just be a good runner, work on your pull-ups, and that's literally all you need to do. Do some calisthenics, you're gonna be just fine in boot camp. I don't know why the YouTube videos make it seem so like physically demanding. To me, it's just a personal like opinion. Really wasn't that physically demanding at all. But PT is not nearly as bad as it looks on the YouTube videos. Most of the time, I'll just be honest with you, most of the time you're drilling. At least in my company, you're drilling to chow, you're drilling from chow, you're drilling to whatever you're gonna do, you're drilling from whatever you're gonna do. You mess up, so now you guys are just drilling in one spot for like 2 hours out of your day, and that is pretty much what you're doing most of the time. You're drilling. They're like beating the discipline into you, because the drilling part, like, that's what it's pretty much teaching. It's teaching like discipline, and That's what you're doing most of the time. And what I used to do in my day was I used to break up the day between chow segments. So you do get fed 3 times a day, guaranteed. Like, it's weird. They are gonna rush you. It's gonna be pretty fast. But most of the day, it's like breakfast, and then you do something. Lunch, you do something. Evening chow, you do something, which you don't really do something because you're preparing to go to sleep. Because chow is usually at like 4, and you're drilling back by like 5:30, and then you do something real quick. Then you have to shower. You get an hour of free time from 7 to 8. Where you could, like, fix your uniform, like talk to your friends or whatever. You do get an hour of square away time, which I didn't know about that in boot camp. You do get an hour a day in boot camp at the end of the day. So I used to just think, all right, it's evening chow, it's the end of the day. That's how I used to think about it. I used to be like, all right, it's the end of the day, evening chow, did it. That's it. So that's how I used to break up my days. I used to just go morning chow, lunch chow, evening chow, and then Sunday by Sunday, because Sundays were church. Sometimes you'd get 2 to 3 hours of free time. Sometimes on Sundays you would end up and also like the church as well was fire. I loved it. I became really close to my religion when I started to go to the church in boot camp. Trust me, you're gonna want to believe in something when you go to boot camp, because it's gonna feel like the longest 3 months of your life. But the best part about boot camp is that it ends. It will end. Only about 11 out of the 13 weeks there you're actually doing like boot camp stuff, because the last 2 weeks you're a Marine. So it's 11 weeks of just pain, of mental battles, but you will get through it. And they will always tell you this quote that I'm about to say, and it has never been more true. It genuinely is the easiest part of your career. Boot camp is the easiest part of your career. I'm in the infantry, and that whole 8 hours of sleep, 3 meals a day thing does not apply when you actually get out of boot camp. It does not apply when you become, when you start to go to the fleet and do your job. Because me, sometimes I go all day without eating, and then I eat at night, and then I go to sleep. Like, Marine Corps boot camp is pretty much given to you. You just listen to exactly what they tell you, listen to everything they tell you, study your knowledge at the square away times, and you will be just fine. Like, literally, you will be just fine, because they give it to you. They give you all the tools you need. Now, in the fleet, I don't know what your job is. I can only speak on the infantry. Everything is up to you. The studying is up to you. The PT is up to you. I PT every day. My unit PTs every single day. But it's not enough for you to become better. I want to be better. I'm just moto. I'm a junior Marine, moto, whatever. Who cares? Sometimes I get made fun of for it. I don't know why, but I'm moto, so I work out after work every single day. I study a boatload. This is like my 6th notebook in 4 months. I go hard. So yeah, boot camp genuinely is like one of the easiest parts of your career. You will hear that a lot. You're gonna be like, there's no way, this is wrong. At least for my MOS, when I hit SOI and I hit the fleet, yeah, that was so true. I was like, yo, boot camp was easy, bro. I was like, boot camp was easy. But yeah, basically the biggest mistake I made when I was in boot camp was just not preparing mentally, not being prepared to be away from my family for all that time. But then after like a couple weeks, I got used to it. I was just fine. And I simplified my life there. My life there was screaming loud and moving fast. As long as you can scream loud, move fast, move with intensity and violence, you are literally good to go. Like, I just did what I had to do, got PFC meritoriously, because I just did exactly what I was told to do, and that was it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my experience on Marine Corps boot camp. Why I thought it was easier than it looks on YouTube, because on YouTube they just play the highlights. Most of the day you're waiting around. Most of the day you're pretty much drilling. I'm probably gonna get hate on this video, but it's fine. It's just my experience on boot camp. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am not downplaying the Marine Corps, by the way. It is the hardest boot camp, hands down. Like I said, like mentally, I was cooked. I was cooked. I wanted to go home so bad. Many points in the Marine Corps boot camp. Like, I remember like week 6, I was like, bro, I just got to the halfway point. Are you serious? Like, I remember I was cooked mentally. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you like and subscribe. This was definitely not to downplay the Marine Corps at all, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.